Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. Once again, welcome to the delayed flight. I'm a little bit anxious about this clip because we have lots of things to see. Concerning the startup of the Boeing 787-10 of the Dreamliner, it will be a little bit more difficult because this is an add-on, a wonderful add-on. There is a tutorial about it. And all the cockpit, as you see, has changed. Of course, it looks wonderful. But however, we don't have the black colors of the default cockpit, and so anyway, we must know where each knob is. So let's get started with the first part of the new startup of the 787-10, and let us see the power procedure, which is actually quite easy, I would say. So first of all, of course, you set the battery to on position, so battery is on. And then you just check the hydraulic systems of the plane. You check the C1 and C2 elec pump selectors. Don't touch them, they must remain in the off position. And you also check the left and right elec on-demand pump selectors, which add actually additional electric power in order to activate the hydraulics of the plane. This is needed, for instance, when nose is down, when you lower the gear of the plane. It is needed for the flaps and so on and so on. Anyhow, you don't touch all this. And then we have the external power of the plane. Here I have lots of things to say, but it is not the time right now. Please be patient later. I have some objections. And here is the external power of the plane, which must be set to on. And actually you are done. If we have a look, for instance, now, evaluation.
Battery switch on. C1 and C2 elec
You
pump
don't
selectors.
touch these.
Off. L and our elec demand pump selectors. Off.
And the external power.
External power. On if available.
Yeah, about this on if available, I have some objections, but anyhow, it is not the time right now. And now we go to the 32 commands, or even more are they. Now we go to pre-flight, isn't it? So ladies and gentlemen, now we continue with the most difficult part of the checklist, which is the pre-flight checklist. Here there are, I think, about 33 checks, and you must know them all. So please be attentive and keep notes, as I always say. Have a notebook and keep some notes, because you must know all these checks, exactly what they are. Now the panel is not that easy. Actually, you can use your mouse a little bit, and then you can rotate. This is one way, something like this, and then you magnify again. This is more comfortable. This is the first way that you can have a look at your upper panel. And the second way, which is much more easier, is with CTRL plus 0. Here it is. So maybe we can use this for the time being, and we can magnify a little bit. This part of the checklist will be divided in 3 different parts, let's say 11, 11 and 11, something like this, and we will have a more thorough look here. So first of all, we have the IRS selectors. There is a tutorial about this thing. We noticed that after the AAU2 update of the Boeing, here we don't see nothing, because first you must initialize your position. I strongly disagree about this, and I think this should be default, but here things have changed. In the beginning I couldn't fly the plane, and so Alt 1, this is my saved camera, CTRL plus 0, and we go here. This is the IRS system. You must initialize your position, and you set the 2 IRS knobs to on position, 1, 2. Now, little by little, then we wait, and finally our PFD will be displayed normally. You see that anyhow here now both PFD are displayed normally. Yeah, here it is, 1 and 2, both PFDs, isn't it? Yes, that was my major problem after the AAU2 update, but anyhow, this is how it works. Then we have the computer's disconnect switch, and you check here exactly under the inertial reference system, the two knobs of the inertial reference system, guards are closed. And here also I have a remark for later. So here you don't touch nothing at the moment, it is just fine. And then there are another two knobs that you don't touch, the IFE power switch, which must be on, and the cabin utility power switch, which must be also on. So these two, IFE pass seats power switch, must be on. You don't touch it, it is just fine, it is in the on position. And next to it, it is the cabin utility power switch, which is this one, and this is also set to on. And by the way, IFE stands for in-flight entertainment. You know, all these facilities, movies and so on that you are provided during the flight to have a jolly good time. We continue with the generator control switches, which are 4, and you also don't touch them, leave them exactly as they are. Here they are. You see, we go step by step here. At the time being, we go lower. So here are the generator switches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please don't get confused because you see here this off highlighted. No, they are set on the on position. So all these 4, the engine generators or the generator control switches, you just leave them exactly as they are. They're just fine. We continue with the APU selector, the auxiliary power unit selector, which is here exactly. And as usually, you set it first to start and then to on position, and we always used to say that if you want to be precise, let it for a few seconds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes to the on position. We continue lower and we go to the windshield wiper selectors must be set to the off position, and right here it is to the off position, so this you also don't touch. Now we will go higher and we will have a look at the flight deck door power switch, which must be set to the on position. We're talking about the flight deck door, isn't it? I mean, you know which door is this, isn't it? We're talking about this door here. Okay, this one. We're not talking about the other doors of the plane. I mean, we are not talking about these doors here, forward, aft and cargo door. We're talking about the flight deck door, and this power switch must be set to on. This is not to the on position. Here it is, on, okay? Now please be a little bit attentive. Exactly under this knob, exactly under the flight deck door power switch, we have the emergency light guard, which must be also closed. The emergency light guard is exactly here. So you don't touch this, this is closed. And I was saying, please be attentive because we have two different closed guards. The one we have seen earlier, it was the computer's disconnect switch, which is this one, okay? They are exactly similar, so please don't confuse these two. So this is also set the close position, so you don't touch this and you also don't touch this one. They're exactly identical. And now we continue with the window heat switches, which is actually the windshield de-ice position. I think it is announced in the startup as window heat switches. Window heat switches must be all set to on, and these are the windshield de-ice systems. it is this 4. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, this you set to the on position. Actually, we finished only the first 11 commands of the checklist, and we will continue, of course, we continue. So, ladies and gentlemen, take a deep breath and we continue with the next 11 commands of the checklist concerning the pre-flight checklist. CTRL once again, CTRL +0, excuse me. Now the next are useless actually, because we have checked them again and nothing changes here. So we check once again for a second time that engine hydraulic pump switches are on. We have seen this already. Here they are. So now it is time to set your engine hydraulic pump switches to the on position. We have checked this again earlier. Actually, we have checked this again during the power checklist. The engine hydraulic pump switches are here and it is time to set them to on. They were to on, so we don't change nothing. Leave them exactly as they are. They're just fine. We don't touch something here, okay? For a second time, you check your C1 and C2 elec pump selectors. We have seen this already during the power checklist, which are exactly here. So you don't touch them. Leave them exactly as they are to the off position. And also left and right on demand pump selectors, they remain to the off position. These two, you don't touch them. All these three here, leave them exactly as they are. And I don't see which is the reason to repeat these things in the checklist, because we have seen this already in the power checklist. We have checked those things and they were just fine. Here are the seat belts, and seat belt selector must be set to on. So this you set to on position, better not to the auto position. So here it is just fine to the on position. And then we go to the 6 fuel pumps. This is where the fuel starts running in the engines. And here I think there is a mistake here. There is something that I don't like here. The 6 fuel pumps are these ones here. We see in these 3 is written press, but here is not written press. And if you press it, it will be on. And here we have the 2 center fuel pumps. All these fuel pumps, you don't touch them at the time being. They remain in the off position. Fuel will start running when we will start the engines. But here I don't like this one. I mean, here is written press, here is written nothing. Don't touch them anyhow. Okay, and I repeat once again that, okay, we will see how it will be, that better to activate first these 4, not all together, because you may have an engine shut off. This I have also mentioned in the first startup of the 787, because unfortunately after the AAU2 update, this is the second. We continue with the anti-ice system. These 3 knobs here, and all these 3 you set to the auto position, surprisingly, not to the on position, to the auto position. Here you see there are 2 positions, auto and on, so you set them to auto. This is the anti-ice of the anti-ice systems of the engine. So all 3 here, okay, all these 3 are set to the auto position. Next is nav lights. Actually, I would suggest you to turn all the lights on, I mean, but anyhow. Next is nav lights, which must be set to on, and logo lights as required. It is the next one, so you can as well set this to on. And we go to the air condition of the plane, the pack switches. They are here on the right, these 2. And this must be set to auto position, I think, isn't it? Surprisingly, it is written on. Let it be. Okay, pack switches to on. Yeah, okay, it is written auto here now. Actually, you can hear the air condition, I think. And below are the trim air switches, which you don't touch because they are already set to the on position. So leave them exactly as they are. And now we go down, Alt 1, and we set the flight director to the on position. I disagree a little bit about this. I mean, those things I usually activate exactly before takeoff, but let it as it is. Flight director must be set to on, and it is written here. You have a look here. Flight director is on. We finished another 11 commands of the checklist. Take a breath and we continue with the last 11. I strongly disagree about the next one, but it is not the time for disagreements right now. Auto throttle must be armed, must be set to the arm position. But the truth is that I don't do this thing. I mean, I arm the auto throttle and then I engage the auto throttle here when I'm airborne. And there is a reason for this, because if you, for instance, arm the auto throttle, here you see you have here you see you have a speed of 200 knots, isn't it? Here exactly. So if by mistake during your takeoff, I have said those things again, I think during the 747 startup. So if you by mistake have also pressed this little button here, okay, or even worse, if the speed is lower, let's say something about 140, 130, and you didn't notice, then you will have a stall. In general, I activate the auto throttle. I arm the auto throttle when I'm airborne. But anyhow, I set it to the arm position. Autopilot disengage bar here. Okay, autopilot disengage bar. You don't touch it, leave it exactly as it is. It is in the off position actually. Now the next is a little bit important, the bank limit selector, which is this one here, and this must be set to auto. As you know, I set it usually to 30 degrees here, but anyhow, set it to auto according to the checklist. Landing gear is down. What to say, to check if our landing gear is down or not. Is there any reason? I don't know. I don't find any reason, I mean. But anyhow, landing gear is down and it is here. And okay, if you want to be even more precise, have a look here. Okay, your wheels touch the ground. Here is the landing gear, and when you're airborne, you retract the landing gear and it will go to the up position, as you know. With these controls actually you are more familiar with. Now next is auto brakes, and auto brakes are somewhere here, and this must be set to the RTO position. I think it is from the other direction, isn't it? Yeah, exactly, here it is. So auto brakes are set to the RTO position, and of course you know that RTO is rejected takeoff, isn't it? Next is parking brakes. Parking brakes is set. I'm only curious if my command works. I mean, here is the parking brake, isn't it? And parking brakes is set by default. But I'm very curious if my command works, which is CTRL del, as I say almost to every tutorial. So let me have a look. CTRL del. Yeah, it works just fine. Sometimes it doesn't work. CTRL plus del. It is good to have a command about your parking brake. So CTRL del to the on position. This is something also that I don't understand. Speed brakes must be set to down position. Why? Here they're armed. Why to down position? I mean, why? I really don't understand why. So I suppose this is down position. I mean, here I don't understand why speed brakes must be set to the down position. Anyhow, yeah, this doesn't make much sense, to be honest, but I will leave it as it is. I mean, I will retract them before takeoff. I will not, let's say, depart with speed brakes, full speed brakes. It doesn't make any sense. Flaps up, and flaps are here. Wonderful cockpit, wonderful add-on, but unfortunately you don't see much because it is quite bright. Okay, flaps here, flaps are set to the up position, flaps 0, and I have said also 1,000 times that you can increase your flaps pressing F7, 1, 2, 3, and so on, and you retract them pressing F6, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And if you want to fully extend your flaps, you press F8, all the way down. And to fully retract your flaps, you press F5 all the way up. These are commands. If you are interested, let me know. These are among the most basic commands actually. Fuel controls, cut off. Yeah, we don't touch nothing here. We didn't turn the fuel on, so we leave it exactly as it is. Yeah, this is also important, and now I have also a few things to say about the TCAS/ATC selector, which must be set to standby position. And so, ladies and gentlemen, last but not the least, TCAS/ATC selector, which must be set to standby, and this is somewhere where? This is somewhere here. Yes, it is this one, and must be set to STBY to standby mode. Actually, this is the transponder, isn't it? Yeah, okay, standby. Here, CAS, okay, stands for Traffic Alert Collision Avoidance System, isn't it? CAS or ACAS, Airborne Collision Avoidance System. And I was just wondering what exactly this transponder mode does when it is set, let's say, to standby and later to exponder or to alt. Because, yes, of course, you receive some instructions from the ATC. I mean, there is a plane at this height, at your 6, at your 12, at your 9, at your 3, and so on. But I think this is not enough. I mean, this is not the use of the CAS, of the Traffic Alert Collision Avoidance System, because actually, when there is a kind of danger, you hear something. You hear something, and you must, let's say, change your altitude. You must change your flight path. It is not just some information given by the ATC, but anyhow, we set CAS/ATC selector to standby. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure I have 1,000 mistakes. I'm sure about it, and the moment of truth has come to see how many mistakes I have. So let us see what we did. We finished. I must also take a deep breath. The 32 commands of the pre-flight. I reset the page. Okay, you can follow those things here also, isn't it? And you can press the autocomplete page and just get rid of all these things. But okay, I mean, you must know what is going on in your plane. So the moment of truth has come. Evaluation.
IRS selectors. On.
Good. We started
Primary
well.
flight computers disconnect switch.
We didn't touch it.
Guard closed.
Excellent.
IFE/pass seats power switch.
Okay, it is on.
On.
Excellent.
Cabin/utility
Those
power
were on
switch.
by default. On.
On.
Excellent.
APU gen switches.
They are on.
On.
Good.
Generator control switches. On.
Good. Excellent.
APU selector.
Start then on. I did this already. I mean, I did it already.
Start
Okay.
then on.
Okay. Let it be.
Windshield wiper
And keep a few
selectors.
seconds, please.
Off.
Okay.
Flight deck door power switch.
On.
On. Emergency
Don't
lights.
confuse these two
Guard closed.
guards. They're different.
Window heat switches.
Yeah, we turn them to
On.
on.
Engine hydraulic pump switches.
Also, they were
On.
on by default.
C1 and C2 elect pump selectors.
They are off, of course.
Off.
Yeah.
L and our elect demand pump selectors. Off.
Also, they are set to off
Seatbelt
position.
selector.
Yeah, we turn this on.
On. Fuel pumps. Off.
Okay. Of course,
Anti-ice.
off. We didn't start the engines.
Auto.
Auto and not on
Navigation
position
lights.
here. Please be careful. Navigation
On.
lights, okay.
Logo lights.
As required, I
As
set them to
required.
on. I should have set
Pack
all to
switches.
on.
Auto. Trim
Air condition
switches.
is on.
On.
Okay.
Flight director.
I disagree,
On.
but I set it to on.
Auto throttle.
Is armed.
Arm. Autopilot disengage bar.
Yeah,
Up.
it is up.
Bank limit selector.
We set it to
Auto.
auto position.
Landing gear.
Yeah, it is down the landing
Down.
gear. Yeah.
Auto brakes selector.
Rejected
RTO.
takeoff position. Okay.
Parking brake.
Yeah, parking
Set.
brake is set. CTRL
Speed brake.
del is the command. What it meant here, speed breakdown? Yeah, and I said that it didn't make sense.
DN.
Okay.
Flaps. Up. Fuel control switches. Cut off. TCAS/ATC selector.
Stand by.
STBY.
Of course, what to say? Of course, I'm a little bit disappointed, but that was, what to say? I mean, that was, as I used to say, a hit under the belt, because I commented about the speed brakes. I mean, what do you understand? Down position. Which is the down position? Down position is this one. I mean, this is down or up. I consider this is down, and I commented about this. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I think I must be very satisfied, because we followed the checklist, and I think we did everything quite well. Another deep breath, ladies and gentlemen. Only 5-6 commands before starting the engines. We continue. CTRL 0. And finally, we have a look at the C1 and C2, which is actually center 1 and center 2 elect pump selectors, which now must be set to the auto position. Elect pump selectors, I mean, it means to transfer electricity, isn't it, to the pumps. And as I said also, without going to further details, left and right elect on demand selectors, it is additional electricity that it is needed in order to have all the fluids working in the plane. So C1 and C2 elect pump selectors must be set to the auto position. No, on auto. Okay, 1, 2, and left and right elect on demand selectors must be set also to auto position. Here it is. No, auto. Okay, good. Okay, about the fuel pumps, again, I have said those things to my previous tutorial about the startup of the Dreamliner. Here it is not written press, I mean, isn't it? Why? Anyhow, I was saying that it is more wise to activate these 4 fuel pumps, and after the engines will have started to activate the other 2, because otherwise you may have a shut-off. But anyhow, let the fault not be mine. I will do it exactly as it is written on the checklist. I will activate all 4. This mysterious one here, this is a sly one. Anyhow, it is on, on, on. Okay, so all 6 fuel pumps are set to on. Beacon lights, okay, I was saying to activate all the lights. I will do it now. Nav lights are on and logo lights are on. Beacon lights, what? Was it already on? Yeah, it seems it was, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, it is also on. Okay, all 4 are on. So lights are on. Beacon lights. And also the wing lights are on now. And now we go once again here. TCAS/ATC selector. The traffic alert collision avoidance system. And we set it to XPDR. Here it is. Okay. Exactly. I think we don't have any kind of mistake right now here. Let us have a look. I repeat once again that you can follow the checklist here, isn't it? But please do learn something. I mean, it is good to know what are all these things about. So which one was it now? Starting the engines. No, it was this one before starting the engines. So, evaluation.
C1 and C2 elect pump selectors.
I think there is no mistake
Auto.
here.
L and R elect demand pump selectors.
Okay.
Auto. Fuel pumps. On.
I disagree about this too. Okay, the center pumps.
On.
You may have a shut-off of the engines.
TCAS/ATC selector.
Exponder, okay?
XPDR.
And I think it is time to start our engines. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue. I'm a little bit tired, the truth is. Okay, that was a little bit tiresome, and I don't give a damn what is written in the checklist about the startup. We have only 2 things left. Here are the starters, aren't they? It is not a big sin. I say this in every clip. It is not a big sin. Both starters together. It is just fine. Starter 1 Okay, both starters. And we go here now. Yeah, also check that the throttle is on idle, isn't it? Okay, 0%. Check this. 1, 2. If it was the 747, we would have 4. Engine 1 and engine 2 are running, and we also should monitor the ACAS, I think, somewhere here. But let us be sure that our engine started. Maybe we will have a reprimand here, but I don't care. I mean, I think we're just good, and we have our engines running. Okay, you can have a look here, and you see most of the warnings disappeared. This landing altitude, I didn't understand what is this thing about. I mean, I don't know what is this landing altitude. It is always left here. And another one appeared. Which fan? I must shut off the fan. Which one is it? Anyhow, I think our engines are running. Shall we check it? I don't think that there is any reason to check it, but anyhow, we can check it as well. The Black Widow, ladies and gentlemen, which is the most beautiful plane in Paphos International Airport. This is where we are. The most beautiful plane is the Black Widow. Here she is. Engines are running. Okay. Remember what I wanted to say in the beginning, and now I will say what is about something extremely important. Please give me a second. We are good, isn't it? I mean, we are operational. I mean, we can as well leave, isn't it? But we cannot leave right now. Actually, we will not leave, isn't it? We have nowhere to go. And I want to show you something extremely important now. Please be attentive, okay? We are almost done. So please be attentive for another few minutes, okay? There is a kind of mistake that I have seen it so many times, and actually it is a mistake that I have seen it from YouTubers that know much more than I do. It has to do with the external power. I mean, the external power, this on if available. Where is the external power? It is this. So in general, in order to activate the external power, isn't it, all these three, if available, there must be this vehicle here, exactly here. This vehicle provides the airplane with additional electrical power before the engines have started, isn't it? So I see many times that during the startup of the bigger planes, let's say, okay, of the Boeings or of the Dreamliner here, of the 777s, I mean, or of the Dreamliner or of the 747, everyone just presses these buttons, okay, if available, okay, they just press the buttons and they think they are done. And the most funny thing is that actually maybe they are indeed done, because somehow there is external power connected to the aircraft. But this, if you want to be more precise, isn't it? It is not enough. I mean, you must go here first, exactly here. Or, okay, you can do it also with the commands, isn't it? Here. Let us forget the pushback. You all don't have the pushback, isn't it? So you go to ground services, I suppose. Anyhow, I don't want to change my frequency now. And you ask for power supply, isn't it? With the ATC. And if you have the pushback toolbar, you can as well go here, power, and ask for electrical supply, isn't it? And you press here power. So this we have done already in the beginning. I think I didn't show to you, but this is done. And then comes the vehicle and provides electricity to the aircraft, isn't it? 95%. When you call this vehicle here, this cable doesn't exist. I mean, actually you don't have any power supply. And this was actually one of the reasons that I chose this airport. Have a look to your airports when you call the power supply. This is the correct way. You must see this. I mean, it's self-explanatory, isn't it? You must see this cable connected with your aircraft exactly as it is here, isn't it? Otherwise, you don't have any power supply. And funny thing is that surprisingly you have. Lots of times, surprisingly, you have power supply. But I repeat once again that precise is to call the vehicle, isn't it? Then you go here, CTRL 0. If available, isn't it? You press external power to on. When you leave, I mean, you turn it to off, isn't it? You don't have any external power anymore. And if the vehicle arrives, you just check that this cable is connected with the aircraft. Useless information of the day, call it whatever you want. I just wanted to... What is going on here? I mean, what is going on here? Someone is suffering here right now, isn't it? I don't understand. But anyhow, it is not my business right now, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is our beauty. This is the Black Widow. This is our 787/10, our Dreamliner. I think this is all for now. I hope this clip was interesting to you. Please keep notes. And as I said in the beginning, it is good to know what all these knobs, CTRL 0, are about. Anyhow, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to put thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you found this clip interesting and helpful. It took me quite some time, to be honest, to prepare this clip. So I think this is all for now. Thank you for watching this clip and hope to see you soon to the next one. Till then, you take care. Bye for now.